Hmm. Lighting. No, maybe that one. That one. How are you tonight, spiritual superstars? Hope and pray that you're doing it, that you're feeling well. So, perfect. Oh, easy. All right, all right. So, I want to come over and do just a couple of videos tonight. So, I'm going to just dive right in to the topic, and I want you to really participate and and really just ask questions or give some feedback. And here we go. Kimberly is asking a question right away. And so that's great. What I want you to know is Coach Darian is going to um, meet with us tomorrow in a private Zoom. So I'm going to post it in our community tab, okay? And that way, you all are going to get free coaching, relationship advice from an expert relationship coach, okay? So I'm so happy that he's able to do that. That's going to be awesome. So definitely pray tonight. Ask the serious questions. Put it out there. You got to ask yourself first because you got to know what your truth is. And then get that question, bring it with you. And I'll post when and where, post the link in our community tab, okay? So this is a big deal, right? Are you in a relationship or are you in a situationship, right? A situationship. One of our spiritual superstars termed that, and it was so appropriate for what some of us find ourselves in, right? And so let's go with the questions. Just come on in the room, type in your 4 1s. Don't forget that. Let me type in mine. Hashtag 444441s, not 4444, 4 1s. And get that in there so that we can have the opening of the spirit realm right in here. And then we are just going to get started. So Kimberly says, hey, it's me, Kimberly. Hey, I don't know if I'm in a relationship or not with this man. He is famous. I feel a little insecure, not gonna lie. There's women, I'm trying to get out of him. Okay, so there's women that you're trying to get him away from. He's seeing other women while he's seeing you, and you're trying to be the main woman. You're trying to get him to not see anybody else. Is that what I'm hearing? Because let me make sure that I understand what's really going on. And then Deanna asks, hey girl, I feel I'm not in a relationship. I'm trying to find myself, I guess. Okay, totally understandable, which is super, super smart. Okay, super smart. Hang it. Let me turn this heat off before I pass out in here, okay? Excuse me, spiritual superstars. Hang on. If you see my pajamas, then you know the real deal when you're on alive and not all the way dressed. um, so help me understand that, Kimberly. You're in a relationship with a man, but you're not the only one seeing him. Is that right? So, ladies, when you know you're not the only one, that's something we have to admit, right? I feel like it's hard because then you have to really consider rejection. Coach Darren and I were talking about this earlier. I could kick myself for not having recorded it with volume. But he went into great detail, and he's going to go into great detail tomorrow in our private room as well. So make sure that you look at the community tab, get the link, get the time that we're going to be in that room so that you really can ask the questions that are on your soul and get the relationship advice that you really do need. He's going to give it to you straight. He's very direct and super effective. So, when you are seeing somebody else and you realize he's seeing somebody else too, then you have a choice to make, which is not always the easiest thing to decide. Because sometimes, ladies, let's keep it real. You find out once you're already in love with the guy, you have either introduced him to your kids, you have become intimate with him, and things have happened. So now, women, I think we have to keep in mind that we are emotional creatures. We tend to make decisions based off of emotions, and that is something we have to learn how to check. So we have to hold each other accountable with that. And the only way we can do that is if we open up and start trusting one another. So you got to have somebody that you can trust, that you can have as an accountability partner, okay? And that way you are you got each other's back. What does that mean though? With women, that means we have to be vulnerable. With women, we have to be open with each other. So we have to trust each other. But the only way we can do that is if we trust ourselves, okay? So you've got to have this level of confidence, of security, of love for yourself and trusting yourself in order to trust somebody else that's going to have your back. And in that way, you're going to be able to have the tough conversations you need to have with a man. So, Kimberly, I see that you gave me a little bit more background. Okay, so well, I know. So Kimberly says, and thank you so much for being so honest and upfront and open to share because that's what we need. Kimberly and Deanna just openly shared because they really are serious about getting the help they need, and that's big. A super round of applause for you. I so commend you for that. So come on in, spiritual superstars. Write down your relationship questions because anything that I don't get to and anything that I do, I'm bringing them to Coach Darian so that he can address them tomorrow in our private session. So you want to make sure that you are in that room tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to post the link and the time in our community page. So Kimberly says, well, I know that there's women coming at him left and right. And he's from Nigeria. Somehow he looked at me and started liking my pictures. I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm not sure if I should just tell him this friendship is not going to work out because I feel like there's not a lot of attention being shown. He said he normally doesn't call people and he called me. Kimberly says, anything, he just wants to be friends, but it feels like it's with benefits as well. He wants pictures of me, and when he has time, he pays attention to me. Okay, so let's address that, and thank you so much, Kimberly. So, I'm going to be very direct too, because I want you to be happy in your relationship life. So, Kimberly, what is it that you want out of your relationship life? And what do you want? What are your goals? And that's a big deal right there. So ladies, before you get involved with a man, it's important that you know what your relationship goals are. It's important that you know what you value. So when I ask my private coaching clients, what are your values? It's very difficult for some ladies to convey that. So I want you to start warming up to that. What are your values? What do you value in life? Okay, so when you look at that, do you value honesty? Do you value um, loyalty? What is it that you value? Support. Okay, what do you value? Monogamy. What is it that you value? Do you value being pampered, adored, appreciated? What is it that you value? Do you value a man that keeps his personal hygiene together? Do you value um, a strong man that is able to still cry and show his emotions? What do you value? Okay. Um, that's super important because otherwise, your values may be something you adapt or you adopt from somebody else, and they're not your values to begin with. Therefore, you're going along with somebody else's program. So, you got to know what you value, okay? Because that goes along with what you bring to the table, too. Your standards. What is it that you hold true to you? What is it that you're not going to go beneath? You've got a level right here, you're not going under here. Your standard is right here. This is where you're at. So anything beneath here, you're not going to go for. What is that? Your standard may be he has to be um, he has to have a certain income, or he has to live a certain way, his lifestyle. He has to be a non smoker. He has to be vegan, or he may just need to be appreciate vegetarian lifestyle. You know, what is it? He can't drink, or he drinks once a week, or whatever it is. But what is your standard? Okay, hit the thumbs up button if that's making sense. Hey, Lady Love, thank you so much for letting me know that. Well, come on in, address your questions, share what's on your soul, and whatever I can or cannot get to, I'm going to still bring it to Coach Darian, and he's going to address it in um, our private room tomorrow. So and it's a free workshop. You can get direct private coaching. He is an expert relationship coach, and you definitely will be happy that you tuned in. I guarantee you that. Okay, so you definitely want to get in there. Um, so if this is making sense, come on in, hit the thumbs up button, and let me know that. And so you want to have your standards, you want to have your values, and you want to have your requirements. Okay. So what are your requirements? Well, one of your requirements may be that he cannot be involved with other women. One of your requirements may be that you um, have marriage on the table. You know, that means that you're open to marriage, and so is he. One of the requirements on the table may be that he has to live in the same city as you. Maybe he has to have plans already to relocate to the same city you're in. What are your relationship requirements? Okay. Um, your relationship requirements may be that he needs to live by himself. You know, maybe you want to make sure that he's financially stable. Maybe you want to make sure that he is mentally stable, that he's mentally healthy. One of your standards or values may be that you value therapy, you know, and your standard is a certain level of mental health, of being able to cry and not think that he is so macho he can't cry in front of people. That may be something that you have in your own standards, your requirements, your values. And so you got to know that ahead of time. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're going along with somebody else's standards, values, requirements, and that means you're not being true to yourself. But then how can the man be true to you and give you what you need if you don't even know what you need? I hope you got that. I hope you understood what I just said. All right, did you get that? Thumbs up if you got that. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comment section if you understood that. So that's a part of the work that we have to do, right? So always understand that people are coming at you in different ways. That doesn't mean what they say is the God's honest truth. Okay? So let me go back and address you, Kimberly. So Kimberly says you feel like there's a lot of attention being shown his way, and he's telling you to send pictures. So he lives where do you live at? Because you said he lives in Africa, right? Is that what you said? He lives on the continent of Africa. Where do you live? Do you live in the continent of Africa, and do you live in the same country? So if he is in the same country as you, is he in the same location as you? That's something you have to look at. And ladies, especially if you have children, really do the work to get to know a man before you go all in and welcome this man into your home, into your life, especially around your children, especially sending out pictures, sending out personal information. Don't send any bank account information out to anybody, okay? There's so many scammers out here. And I'm going to tell you, if a man is asking for your bank account, cut him off. Cut him off. If he asking you to see pictures of your children, well, see, oh, I didn't know you got beautiful children. Oh, let me see if it, cut him off. Cut him off. Cut him off. Okay? Those are two big red flags right there. All right? Um, so let me see. So you said I've had two multimillionaires ask me out. How do you know they're multimillionaires? How do you know they're multimillionaires? And if they are multimillionaires asking you out, okay, he's one of them. He called you on Instagram. You can do that. Okay. But I feel that it's not about the money. I can be creative and make my own foundation. Okay. Until I find my soulmate and we can make beautiful creations in this world, like being humble and loving me for me. I'm a plus size woman, and I was thinking to myself, why is he looking? Okay, so first of all, being a plus size woman doesn't put you out of a category of a multimillionaire being attracted to you. It just isn't. Um, but it does raise a red flag that he's saying he's a multimillionaire on Instagram, getting in touch with you, and he lives in Africa, and he's asking you to see pictures. So I can tell you that um, having dated, and this was before Instagram, I knew anything about Instagram, and years and years ago, before children, multimillionaires don't handle things like that. Um, they don't handle things like that. Multimillionaires will court you, and you will know that they're a multimillionaire the way that they approach you. Um, so so Kimberly, my honest opinion, I would be extremely careful with this man. I wouldn't give him anything. I would wait and see what he's going to give you. See how he shows up. Use this as an example because the dating arena is the vetting process. Okay? So honestly, look and see what your standards are. If it's okay for you to date somebody that's in another continent, and you look at the likelihood of you two really getting together, and you already know he's seeing other women. There's other women involved, and this is a social media um, connection. Therefore, it's a situationship. Okay? It's a situationship. This is not a relationship. You have to go by your standards, your requirements, your values. And a relationship is in person, face to face, skin to skin, interaction in real life, courting, coming to your door. Can I take you out? Coming to see you, spend time with each other, quality time that has nothing to do with social media. You throw the phones to the side when you're with each other. It's that. It's making an appointment, making a date to get together. Depends on, because we make appointments because we're both business owners and we got to do that. So you're going to be doing that too. You make time to see each other, quality time. You have conversations with each other. It's not all about, let me get a picture of you. Send me something sexy. It's not about that. That's a part of a real relationship, yes, but it's not all that. A real relationship is not centered on sexual intimacy, nor is it centered on the amount of money that you can do for him or give to him or him to you either. I hope that that helps a lot. So, especially when you said you don't, it seems like you don't have any children. Kimberly, if I were you, I would, I really want you to talk to Coach Darian, honestly. And I want you to be okay with, um, I'm a big person. I'm overweight. I can still stand to lose 30 pounds. But my biggest thing is us being healthy. So if your medical reports say that you're unhealthy in any way, start there. Start there in changing your lifestyle to fit a healthier lifestyle because that energy that creates that same healthy lifestyle coming to you. All right. If you care about your health, you're going to attract somebody else that cares about their health. You don't have to be perfect. We're not striving for that, but we are striving to just be better every single day, right? And so that looks different for everybody. Um, Very hurt, but lesson learned. Okay, thank you for saying you understand. So Deanna says, and come on in the room, everybody. If this is making sense, hit the thumbs up button for me. And just write your relationship questions down there or your concerns or just share. If you just tuned in, Coach Darian is going to host a private Zoom tomorrow. I'm going to put the information in our communities tab, and I'll put the date or the time and the link and everything. Okay, so it'll be private so that you can feel comfortable to just share, and we'll be here with it. You know, we'll be on video. You cannot be on video if you don't want to. It's on Zoom, but we encourage you to just have that one-on-one interaction so that you really can um, either get a strategy or get some questions answered tomorrow. So, um, so Deanna says, standards and morals and everything I've learned from experience in the past. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you had initially asked, I feel I'm not in a relationship. I'm trying to find myself, I guess. So that's really big because we believe in therapy. We as women, Deanna, I think you're a single mom. I am too. Coach Darian and I are not married yet. We had to go like this in order to come back together. And and so now we are at that point of being exclusive and getting married. But it took a while to get to that point, and we still have some work to do before we get married. But at least we're at that path. And I say all that to say, being a single mom, I get why a lot of women are angry and why a lot of women um, don't realize they have to go through therapy. When we are in a relationship that is upsetting, or the breakup is upsetting, or anything that happens that creates a trigger for the next relationship, it's a call for therapy. We do need to heal ourselves. So the fact that you said, I'm taking a break, you're healing in that time frame, just working on yourself, is big. I really, really hug you for that. I'm just loving on you for that, for loving on yourself. Because if we're not doing the work to peel away the fact that we've either had to act like more of a man than a woman in many situations as a single parent, and if you don't have children, then you've had to really live your life imbalanced in a way because you're a woman without a man. And quite frankly, I don't believe we are a man's equal. I don't want to be a man's equal because I don't want to fight the battles that they fight. So I want to be pampered, and I want to be adored, and I want to be treated like a delicate flower. That's what I want, and that's what that man does for me. So if I'm out there trying to kill the bears that he's trying to kill, then I'm doing his job, and I don't want to do that. But as a single mom, that's exactly what I was doing, because there was no other man there to kill those bears, and those bears were still there. So you still have to do what you got to do, ladies, and that transition from jumping in, into life, trying to be the man and the woman is difficult. And it takes that time to work on yourself, to come back into your femininity so that you can welcome the right man into your life. It takes work. And that's just a part of what we do in our complete coaching circle. It takes work because a lot of the times we're angry at life, not just our ex, not just the men in our lives, not just our children's fathers, not just our fathers, not just our brothers, whatever men are in the neighborhood, around us, at the job, whatever. We're not just angry at them, we're angry at ourselves for getting ourselves in that situation, for allowing us to have that situation, right? And so you got to forgive yourself too. But it's hard. We might even be upset with our own children. It happens. You see a lot of women that blame, um, that look at their child and see the father, and they're still angry at the father. And so they look at their child a certain way. It happens. So you have to have time to heal. And when you are in the process of going to accepting another man into your life, let's keep it real. You're going to feel horny. You're going to want to have some strong arms around you. You're going to want to cuddle. Like Babe told me, it's cuffing season. It's cuffing, not cuffing. It's cuffing season. And that is a thing. And right now, and it's temporary, lasts until like February, March, where you just have companionship for the winter months. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But here comes the problem, is when you think that that kind of situationship is a relationship, and it's not. And then when springtime rolls around, he's gone, and you might still want something, you still want him there. And so you don't want to go against your own rules, the rules that you established for that situationship. I hope that that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, definitely say in the comment section. Um, So let's see. Lady Love says, definitely I should have done this before having had a kid with this one. Very hurt and feel alone. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. So you had a kid with him, and did you think that he wanted to be in a relationship and he really didn't want to be in one? And I thank you so much for being so honest, you know. Um, Coach Darian and I, you know, when we reunited, I was all in fairy tale. This is my twin flame. And I knew at the time it was just true love. And the way that spirit reunited us was absolutely insanely profound. And I knew I was following my spiritual guidance. So I was all in 100%. And ladies, as I told you, we are emotionally, we're emotional creatures, right? We make decisions based on emotion. Men tend to make decisions based on logic, and they think, we feel. I don't care what the sign is. I don't care the, whatever star sign. It doesn't matter. Men are wired differently, and they have just as hard of a time trying to figure us out as we do trying to figure them out. So that's why I'm so grateful we have our complete coaching circle too. So he was in a situationship, and I wasn't. And so he was pulling back, and I was like, what's wrong? You know, what's going on? And so we had to work through all of that. And that took a while. And also, he was he was ashamed of to tell me some things, and I didn't know how to tell him some things. And I was a runner. And then come to find out he was a runner. And then we both chased. We ran, we chased, we ran, we chased, we did all of it. And we realized that this is a love that's never going to go in, it's not going to go away. No matter what, no matter who we try to date outside of ourselves, this love is never going to go away. And it has just gotten stronger. And so I say all that to say, I had to learn how to have the emotionally intense conversations and not run, and hold him to those conversations as well. And the blessed thing about that in your twin flame connection is that there's one dominant energy there at a time. And he was the one that helped me understand how to have those emotionally intense conversations and not run. And so be okay with, you have to learn how to be okay with rejection. You have to learn how to be okay with um, speaking your truth without speaking your entire truth. And you have to be okay with the different styles of communication between a man and a woman. And you have to be okay with the fact that chances are that man isn't the one that hurt you, but you're still carrying those triggers from the man that did hurt you. And that's your situation. You have to be accountable to heal, for healing from that. So when I hear people say, oh, you're good, you don't have anything to do, that's not your problem, that's it. It is. We have to hold ourselves accountable to heal ourselves. Our man is not our therapist. And so it's really important that you get help from a professional therapist, and that you work with a coach to help you learn the things that you don't know. If I'm in business and I need to know how to do Facebook ads, I'm going to a Facebook ad specialist. I'm going to go to a lead generator if I need to generate leads. You have to go to an expert. I, you know, to get my nails done. I don't want to do my own nails all the time. So I go to an expert that can get me in and out and they look great. So I want to help us normalize getting help that we need. I hope that that makes sense. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but I hope not. Magnolia says, do twin flames manifest themselves even if they are from the other side or afterlife? I haven't met mine here in my lifetime, but I feel a spiritual connection with someone who's not here anymore. That's a great question. Oh my gosh, Magnolia. I believe that twin flames have a purpose to ignite the world. I believe that the connection between your twin flame and you is so profound. Um, but even in a twin flame and soulmate connection, I believe that there are lessons to learn and there is a mission for for both connections, for both connections. And whether it is a soulmate platonic or soulmate romantic relationship, because you can have soulmate with neighbors, children, parents, coworkers, the grocery store clerk, the stranger on the street is a soulmate connection. Um, so having a connection with your twin flame and they be in the afterlife, have already transitioned on. I believe that it can be possible because your twin flame energy, you have to both be on board. And sometimes you just aren't. And as Coach Darian, as he says, twin flame reunions are not always going to happen in this lifetime. They're not for everybody because you have to be on that same page. So I do believe you can feel that pull for sure with your twin flame because even before we reunited and even before we united for the first time, we both felt that pull. And so I believe that you can feel that for sure. I really do. Um, but you feel like you have a spiritual connection with someone who's not here anymore. Here's what I want you to be very concerned, well, not concerned, but I want you to be very aware of and just very aware that if this energy is doing anything sexual to you, that's not okay at all. Not at all. Not okay at all. And it happens. Okay, it happens and it should not be something that anybody should be okay with because that's not good energy. That's a demon. And you don't ever want anything to excite you sexually when it's coming in as a spirit, energy, anything like that. Okay, so make sure that that's not happening. Um, and if it does, if it's happening to anybody, um, you stop it. Okay, and then you ask me how to stop it. You stop it. You just stop it, and you tell that energy it has no business around you. You rebuke it in God's name, and and you call on God immediately. There's no hesitation. You rebuke it, okay? Make sure that it knows it has no permission to be near you. That's super, 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 super important. Okay. Um, in Magnolia, it may not be twin flame, but you certainly can always have a connection with someone who has transitioned on. My mama, she reaches out to us all the time. And I was very connected to my children who are in heaven before I had my children who are living on earth. And always will be, those will always be my babies. But they were helping me heal and prepare to be a mom to my babies who God gifted me to raise in this lifetime, in this third dimension that we call life. I hope that that makes sense. So when you feel that spiritual connection, it's real, and I hope that you can find some peace and love in that. So live like a sacral generator. I love your name, man. Listen to the sister. I can't believe men would approach in such a predatory nature, especially if you have children, pictures, and bank account. Men do it all the time, and women do it too. So I won't put this all on men because women absolutely can be predators, abusive, and just inappropriate and not right. So there's scammers all over the place. Um, if you're dating, for example, dating is the vetting process, right? So when you're dating, you're not in a situationship, you're not in a relationship, right? You're dating, getting to know somebody, and um, if you are, if you find out that you don't like this person on the first date, there's no reason for you to go out with them on a second date, right? But it happens all the time. People go out on second dates, they go on third dates, they go on fourth dates, and they know doggone well they don't want to be with this person. There's no way in the world they're going to be with this person. But the other person doesn't know that yet because they're still going out on the dates, right? Women do that all the time. Do it all the time. And it's wrong. No matter what way you put it, it's wrong. So, um, if a man is doing it and asking for pictures or asking for money or, getting in good emotionally, because men know that much about us, that women are emotionally charged. We tend to make decisions based on our heart. And that's why we have to be empowered and we have to know the level of our power, which is great. Let me tell you, women, I'm doing everything in my power to teach you about your power because, honey, you got a whole lot, okay? You got a whole heck of a lot of power that you are not using to your benefit. Um, my mind's eye, I'm seeing a time that before kids, when I dated millionaires and um, multimillionaires. And that's just the circuit that I was in. But even if it's a guy, he took me on a $5,000 dinner date, it was incredible. We had no reservations. We just showed up. He showed up, picked me up in a limo, um, dozen roses, and the whole 9 yards. We show up to the restaurant, no reservations. We get the VIP. He's slipping the guys $100 bills, all of that. Cristal, Dom Perignon. You take the bottle out of the restaurant with you. All that. Go to listen to some jazz, the whole nine. How do I know how much money they spent, right, on me? Because they make it very known. This is how much money I'm spending on you. They don't say it like that, but they're going to make sure you see him slip the maitre d', a couple hundred. They're going to see, you're going to see what they're doing. They're going to make little notations. They're going to say something that lets you know only the best, only the best for her. You know, give me the top shelf. Give her whatever she wants. If you got family at home, they're buying dinner plates for the whole family so you could bring it home. All of that. If I was attracted to them, that would be one thing. But first date, second date, no, if you're not attracted to them. Why? Because then they're going to be expecting something from you in return for all that cash they done spent. So women do that all the time. But when you're going on that second date, then now you're coming out of yourself. Now you're not being honest with yourself, and you certainly can't be honest with him. So it's not just men that do that, it's women too. And that's why you have to be very aware of what dating is. Dating is a vetting process. If this isn't somebody that you want to be with, then don't play yourself and don't play them. People end up getting hurt, when there's high stakes involved like that. So, yeah, but women, know your power, because a man really does want you to be happy. And women out there, whoever was taught or told that men don't want a commitment, they surely do. Men truly do. Men really do. Most men want to be married. They just want to be married to the right woman just as much as you want to be married to the right man, whether you have kids now or not. That's why if you are lying to yourself and saying you don't want a man or you don't need a man, and you really know you want one or you really believe you need one, then stop lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself and distance yourself from the friends that you have that are still lying to themselves, so that you can begin to heal yourself and be the example in your circle. You can't help anybody until you help yourself. So it's a good thing when you are distancing yourself to heal yourself versus distancing yourself when you get into a relationship because you don't want anyone to know your business, when you probably in a situationship, you don't want anybody to know your business because you know you're doing wrong and you don't want your girls to know. You know, that's totally different. So I would just be careful with that. Deanna says, is this making sense? I hope it is. Hit the thumbs up button and let me know in the comment section if it's making sense to you. Um, man, listen to the sister. Okay. Yes, it does take work because I never knew my life would ever come to this. I'm still crying from time to time, but I know I'm healing as well. It's just so much. It's so much. It really is. But you know what? The tears are cathartic, and you deserve that cathartic release. And you want to ask those tough questions. What's your mama's name? Where you from? Where you originally from? Okay, so you always lived on this street? Where have you traveled to? Do you have a passport? What's your favorite dinner? If you cooked for me, what would you cook? Are you more of a breakfast person or dinner? How you feel about exercise? If we walk by a big booty, am I gonna have to be concerned about you staring her up and down or turning your head? Do you want children? You take a shower every day. What you do? You take a shower at night or in the morning? Because that's a big deal, right? Do you brush your teeth every day? You got health care insurance. You believe in that. Are you okay with taking the MART or taking the bus? Have you ever had your lights turned off? You know, have those conversations. What's your favorite color? If you had to choose between Jamaica and Monaco, where would you choose? Have conversations, you know. And here's the other thing, just because you know his family does not mean that you're in a relationship. Just because you know his boys does not mean that you're his woman. Just because he calls you and tells you you're special, that you're beautiful, that he cares about you, that he loves you, that he has love for you, doesn't mean that you're his woman. Just because he's making love to you, just because he compliments you, doesn't mean that you are his woman. You are his woman when he says you're his woman and he shows you you're his woman and you're not a secret. You're not a secret. Okay? So you guys can visit each other. Let's say you live in the same city or you don't. You spend time with each other. You're flying to go see him. He's flying to see you. He could even fly you out to see him, to spend time with him. That does not mean that he is your man. So be careful about that. Okay? Even when you're having children with guys, that does not mean that that man is even your man. It just doesn't. So have those conversations. Does this mean that we are exclusive? Exclusive what? Does this mean that we are sexually exclusive? What does that mean? Does this mean that we are only being sexually intimate with each other? That's it. You aren't being sexually intimate with anyone else. I'm not either. It's just us, you and me. That's it. Sexually intimate. That's it. Are we sexually intimate with each other exclusively? And it may sound silly for me to say it like that, but have that silly, uncomfortable, awkward conversation and force his hand to have that conversation so you are not assuming. Because, ladies, what do? We act embarrassed about having that conversation. We end up having sex, and then we find out there's 3 other women that he's having sex with. You know, if he lies to you about it, if you ignore the red flags, then at least you can say something at that point and be like, you said and this and that and the other. But if you don't even have anything to go on, who's to be held accountable? You. You got to hold yourself accountable. So I'm going to definitely hold you accountable because you got to put yourself in that hot seat in order to avoid being in the uncomfortable seat of no return, right? So, what's another one? An imaginary relationship. is a situationship. We got like 5 more minutes. If anyone has any questions, definitely put them in the comment section, and get on over to the community tab and on YouTube, and I'm going to post a private Zoom link in the time where we will be in that room tomorrow answering relationship questions, and you're going to have Coach Darian there, um, who is all about twin flame energy. He is my twin flame, and he has taught me so much, okay, so much. And he's teaching our clients. Let me tell you, I just got off a session tonight with one of our clients who's just like, you'll see her testimonial come out probably tonight or tomorrow, but just blown away by what we're able to help her with in her relationship life. So, um, imaginary relationships are serious, and you can think you're in a relationship, you can be told that you're, the best thing since sliced bread to the guy. You can even have assets together, all these things, and you are in an imagined relationship. If he hasn't claimed you, then you're not his woman. And here's the harsh reality, ladies. You might be his boo thing. You might be his mistress. You might be the side chick. You might be the third party. You might be his friend with benefits. You might be his special friend. You might be a friend. And if you're okay with that, then it's okay. However, what we see often is a woman will lie. He was talking about this today, as a matter of fact, is that a woman will lie to herself to keep that man, just to be with him, to have a piece of a man, and that little bit of comfort that he brings her, when she knows she can't deal with being the other woman, the third party, the friend with benefits, the limited one. He likens it to this. This trips me out, and this is so true. This is, and I've never heard this come from anybody else. And when he said this, I was like, wow, that's, men really think like that. He said, oh yeah, every man thinks like that. And so what a woman needs to do is make sure she knows where she stands. You're either a leaf, a branch, or the tree. You're either the leaf, the branch, or the tree. And you're going to find out what that means tomorrow in our private community, or our private Zoom. It's going to trip you out to know the inside of a man's brain, his insight. Because once you know that, you're able to position yourself and really be in the position you want to be in his life. Okay? And to know that you just have that as an option. But like I said, that's the biggest thing that we see, is that women pretend to be okay wanting or going along with someone else's program. And that's why it always goes back to know yourself. Spirituality is at the core of relationship. Talk to God, have those conversations with God, so that you can hear yourself before you even have the conversation with the guy. You gotta know what your truth is. You have to know what you deserve, what you want, in order to convey that, right? So how can a man give you what you want if you don't even know what you want? And a man, you know what a man told me once? He said, A man is only going to do what you allow him to do. He said a man is only going to do what you allow him to do. That's it. And a real good friend of mine, he was married and he was seeing like three other women, I should say. And I was just like, like, dang, how are you getting away with this? And I'm like, they gotta know about each other. They gotta know. They gotta know because of the stuff they would be saying. Like we would be um we would be sitting there like shooting pool or something, and he would just get a message and he showed me the message, and I'd be like, damn, and it'd be so obvious that they know that there's other women involved. And like, how do you get away with this? What is this all about? Like, what? He's like, a man is only going to do what you allow him to do. And these women were allowing him to see anybody he wanted to. They weren't calling him on it. And sometimes what women do is you get into that, okay, I can deal with this instead of facing the rejection. Once you find out he doesn't want a relationship, or maybe he doesn't want a relationship with you get yourself into a situationship because you don't want that rejection. And rejection hurts. It is painful, but you got to learn how to turn that pain into power. You've got to learn how to turn that pain into power. And that's what we teach you in our complete coaching circle. Because once you're able to transform that fear, there's nothing stopping you. There's absolutely nothing stopping you. So that way you're not going to be in a situation to feel like you have to change the rules that you've established in that situationship. The rules to begin with, if you have not had that conversation of what do you want, if you're not asking that man what does he want, what is he going for, and you're not sharing what you want, what you're going for, the expectations, you're not having those serious conversations, then the rules are exactly what you're not saying. Okay, the rules are, they have that on the back end. So you're just going along with the program. So those are the rules. Okay, well, you assume red flags all over the place, but you're afraid to say something. And you feel good because now he's giving you attention. It's making you feel like a woman. A woman should feel adored, appreciated, right? We like that. We are receivers. So when a man is giving us anything, we feel it emotionally, right? We make that decision emotionally. He's thinking logically. This is a receiver. I gotta just give her some. Give her a little attention. Let me just give her this. When you know it doesn't sit right with you, call him on it. Call him on it. And he's smart. Men are very smart. Very smart. So they get it and they know what they're doing. So you have to face that. Rejection is right there, yes. But there's also a humongous win. Okay, there's a humongous win because it's called power. So instead of changing the trying to change the rules of the game and then having sex and then saying later, well, I just, was hoping that what am I to you? Um, well, like, I know you said you didn't want a girlfriend. And he's gonna be like, yeah, I did say that, and I don't want a girlfriend. I just like the way it is right now. Of course he does. Because you kind of bent into the rules and didn't have the conversation, and now you become intimate, and now You know doggone well that you're not his girlfriend, but now you're being intimate with each other. You're not his significant other, but now you're being intimate. So you might mess around and say you love him or you're in love with him. What happens when he doesn't say it back? What happens when he says it back? Is he saying it and does he mean it? You know, my dentist told me he loves me. You know, I'm like, who, what? That was so strange. That was strange. Coach Darian was like, do you think he really meant it? I'm like, no. The heck did he say it for though? I'm like, that was weird. You know, but I'm like, okay. I mean, I love you too. Dentist, it's so awkward. So, you gotta really look at things for what they are. Some things you're not gonna read into, take it for what it is and trust yourself, you know. So, but that's really important. That's super important. Before you decide to be intimate with somebody, know what rules are being played. And the only way you know what rules are being played is if you ask what rules are being played. How we doing this? What do you want? And then be quiet. What are you after? If he's like, I ain't after nothing, you know what? What you think I want something from you? Well, yeah. You don't? No, I don't want anything from you. I'm just trying to, be your friend. Okay, okay. Well, I got enough of those, you know. And you get to say, well, I'm sorry to hear that because, I definitely want something from you. It'd be okay with saying that. But how can you say, what you want if you don't know what you want? If you can't say it to yourself, if you can't have those conversations with yourself, how you gonna have it with a man, right? And so when it goes down, you don't want to find out that, okay, wait a minute. We're not in a relationship. We're having sex. We done did it everything but lose. Well, that way too. And now I find out I'm not his woman and he's got a woman. He could have a wife. You don't want to be in that situation. Sometimes you find out after you got a baby. You don't want to be in that situation. I found out, with me, I told you I was all in, boom, all in. Every bit of me, all in. Dived in. And find out he was in a situationship for real. And working through that took a lot of pain on everybody's part. Her part too. That was very painful. Very painful. Very painful. And because here I am coming back in the picture, somebody that he's been seeking, been searching for years, that she knew about, literally told her. And they had been together for a while, for some years. And lo and behold, the same woman that he says, if I ever find her, and lo and behold, he found me, and we both just merged. Told you I started hearing his name. I started hearing him in the middle of the night. I started waking up screaming his name. So this man he was going to find me. His energy was calling out to me. That's why I tell you, don't ever give up on your twin flame. You find out if you two are going to be together or not, because you both have to be on that same wavelength. I had to get to his wavelength in order for our reunion to happen, because he was there. It was me. I wasn't there. And I had to do some work to get there. Boom. Once I was there, it was like, oh my gosh, like, why am I always thinking about him now? What is going on? It was like that. But it took a lot of pain turning that stuff into power so that we could all be empowered. And it wasn't just me and him, it was everybody else involved so that we could make it possible for them to be empowered too. So twin flame energy is a trip. It's something else. It's healing energy, and it's not just for you two, it's for who you're involved with, who you are connected to. It just is a transformational energy, and I highly recommend that you don't give up on it, Don't give up on it until you have accepted that either you're not going to pursue it anymore, or you've pursued it and you've learned the lesson and you two can just separate or whatever it is. So yeah, I hope that this has made sense. I just saw the screen and it went 1 minute 11 1 hour 11 minutes and 11 seconds in. So let's go ahead and raise it up. And when we do this, we focus on our desired outcome. This is on the new moon in Scorpio energy. So I really want you to focus on your desired outcome. And then let's pour that intention out to the universe. Excuse me. And start some new beginnings. You ready? Raise your vibration. Come on now. Deep, deep, deep. Breathing it in. Exhaling completely. Relax your shoulders. Again. There's something I want to share with you. When you close your eyes and you see an image in your mind's eye, that is the spiritual realm, okay? And yes, your third eye is real. The other way that you can see images is through the imprint. You might see the outline of a portrait of someone or of two people or more than one person. You might see um, what looks like a flash of light that leaves an imprint of whatever you were looking at. Um, so it may not be just like a regular third dimensional scene that you're looking at in your mind's eye. I want you to pay attention to that. I have a vision that I have been seeing for years, and I finally understood what it was recently. Before, I was coming close to it in the way that I was chipping away at understanding what this image was, who it was by meditating on it and reflecting on it, but definitely asking the Most High all the time. And every time I see it, it's when I close my eyes, I see it right away. But now I can recognize the outline of it, and for sure. And this was, has to be about 6 years now that I've been having the same image. Maybe not 6 years, maybe about Yeah, about five, no, maybe about 4 years. About 4 years. So keep that in mind because your spiritual guidance will come to you the way that you can receive it. And your human is all fear based energy. So you don't want to let your human ignore the blessings in that vision. I hope that that makes sense. Um, Deanna, don't count yourself out, baby girl. Don't count yourself out. Do you hear me? My stepdaddy raised me, and they were married for 50 years. Okay, my biological father was around. My mother left him when when I couldn't walk, so he taught me how to walk. And um, so my mother had two kids when he married my mother, and he never left her. And they were just they're just beautiful. They were just beautiful. His whole world fell apart when my mother made a transition last year. So don't count yourself out. Ladies, let me be clear. If you have children from different men, I do too. And let me tell you that thank you, Lady Love. Um, but Queen Mother is definitely up in the house. Let me tell you, okay? She's amazing. And you do too. Drop a drop a comment if you've got children from multiple men, all right? Because that's not something to be ashamed of. Um, Coach Darren and I were talking about that yesterday too, and that is something you accept it and you move on from it. You know, we're not nearly the minority, and when I tell you that he is an amazing father to my daughter, and he's the only one that could have ever been that to her. When we reunited, and I'm going to share this with you so that you really get how spirit will align you with the right one. Okay, because as a mama, I know that your mama bears, and I get it. And I thank you so much for sharing that too, Lady Love and Deanna, and anyone else that shares that. Um, I prayed for that. When I started, I heard first, it's time for you to have your son. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I know that's God talking to me. I know how God talks to me at that time. I knew my spiritual guidance because I followed it my whole life. But I was like, there's no one here. Like, I'm not seeing anybody. And it definitely can't be, it's not her daddy. I know it's not. You know, it can only be two people, and it's definitely not that one person. So it can only be the this person, but I haven't talked to him since we were kids. So it can't be him, can it? And I'm like, it has gotta be because I said, Lord, I know you know me, and you know I'd rather be single than to bring anybody questionable around my daughter. I said, I got to know his soul like I know mine. And that night, I started waking up, saying his name, just smelling him, seeing him, feeling him around me, just seeing him everywhere in my mind's eye, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Go to sleep thinking about him. Wake up thinking about him. The middle of the night, calling his name. During the day, can't even do my work, I'm thinking about him. Never once did it cross my mind to Google him, which is like the first thing he asked me too when we reunited. How come you never Googled me? How come you never just looked on the internet? Look on the internet. You have found me. I'm like, guess it wasn't meant for me to find you. You found me. That's what it was. That's how it was meant to be, you know? And sure enough, so when I tell you, you will definitely get the one that is meant. You just keep following your spiritual guidance. Keep listening to God. Show you exactly who that person is, men and women. Because there's some. I met a guy. Um, he has a 13-year-old daughter. And I think we got the same age kids. And he's a single father too. And we were talking about that, and so yeah, same thing. He's like, yeah, I'm very careful about who I bring around my kids, and yeah. So don't ever count yourself out, but I celebrate you, men and women, for healing yourself with or without children. You know, but keep this in mind: if someone says they don't want you, they don't want you. And that's a bullet that you're dodging because God uses all of us. So if God says to tell you that they don't want you anymore, just trust and believe that there's somebody better for you that's coming. Trust and believe that that person said that to you so that you could close the door and start healing and preparing for that blessed relationship that's coming in, because you can now look at that relationship with the person that said they don't want you as a lesson learned. So you could be like, okay, let me pull out my notebook. So, all right, so let me see here. It might have took me a couple good years, but you know what? I learned this. And then the other day, this happened. And then that year that this happened, okay, yep, I learned that too. Lesson learned, or I'm gonna have to get back to that one. But I'm going to learn it because it's going to take me into my next relationship, which might be the last one, might be the one that lasts a lifetime, you know? So I truly believe that. I really do. So that's it, y'all. I'm so thankful. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I hope that I have really given you value. If I have, please hit that thumbs up button. And, you know, Coach Darian and I are twin flames. Twin flames are the highest octave of romantic relationship. It was not easy, and it ain't easy. Relationships take work, but it should be a labor of love. And once you are with somebody that says their life is your life and they're just going to be in love with you and that's all there is to it, that's a whole level of love that I want you to experience because it's worth it. And so if I could tell anybody, don't ever give up on your love life. Don't ever settle when you really don't want to be in the situationship that you're in. Don't settle to be in it because your life is very precious. Your life is so short and you deserve to be happy and to have all of somebody, you know. So any questions that you have, put them over there. Any concerns that you have, put them over there in the comments section in the community tab. And I'm going to put the link over there tonight and the time for the Zoom so that you can hop on the Zoom and get direct coaching. Okay. Um, Thank you, Lady Love. Your story was so beautiful. I remember you telling us. You do? It's wonderful when you both want each other the same. Thank you so much. It is, girl. I want that for everybody. Sierra just gave us her prayer. Sierra just gave us her prayer. Who is that? You gotta hit me to that. I don't, what did I miss? So, okay, so I'm gonna put that over there in the community section. Y'all have a beautifully blessed night, and thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Thank you so much for your support. You know I love y'all so much. Y'all my spiritual superstars. Oh, what'd she say? What did she say? I love that. Good night. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right.